Good evening everyone and welcome to TTL F2. We are here for Season 7. It is round 9 of the championship and we are taking in, of course, the Russian Grand Prix from the Sochi Autodrome. And this is, of course, this was the whole city of the 2014 Winter Olympics. And I'll try and spot out a few sights along the way as well. Of course, I'm always here. I'm James Head. I'm going to be taking you through the action as always. We should have my co-commentator back with me any second now, so I'll give him the formal introduction. Joining me in the commentary box, as always, is Aidan Carter. Aidan, how you doing?
I'm doing really well, thank you. How are you?
Thank God you were there. I was building that up and I was thinking, God, I hope he is there. I'm doing really well. I'm doing really well as well. Goodness me. Only 11 drivers here currently. Obviously, as we come towards the end of the game cycle, I would say we're predicting a drop in attendance. But 11 drivers here, points is going to be well up for grabs if there's only this many drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it's definitely going to be interesting. I think now that we're getting towards the end of the season, I think maybe some people have realised that there's maybe some battles that they can't win, and they're maybe not here. I think that might be maybe the case with why TTC Toxic may not be here. I think he was very frustrated after the round last week, and he's lost his kind of chance at the Drivers' Championship. So I don't know if some people have given up in that sort of sense, but that's a prime opportunity for people that are here to make up points and make up places in the championship. So other people's loss is their gain.
It is a prime opportunity, I think, for everyone to really score points. Hopefully we are going to get quite a few drivers here, as always. I mean, we've got IRL Neon, who is a brand new driver to the team, replacing, I think it was Lighty in the Prima. How do you think he's going to do? Because obviously he's from the IRL lot once again. Suarez and the likes, and Nino, probably one of his best friends in IRL. How do you think he's going to get on?
I think it's promising that people that he knows, I think we obviously know from Nino's performance in his first round in Belgium and Suarez's performance over the season pretty much as a whole, that while they're not at the front of the pack, you can rely on them to get good results, and they have given us good action so far, so I imagine that we'll probably see more of the same from Neon.
Yeah, we're getting a flurry of drivers coming into the lobby as well, which is great. We're now up to 13 drivers. But let's reflect then on what happened last week, because of course it was Venom taking the feature race win, Blizzard second, Vicmil third. In the sprint race, Blizzard, Spike and Siege were your top three. Blizzard once again pretty much extending his championship lead. Tonight is the night he can be crowned champion if he attends.
Yeah, absolutely. This is prime opportunity, really. I think he had a really good time last time out in Italy, and it didn't go well for his championship rivals. So he put himself in that position. He's more than worthy, I'd say, of winning the championship. And if he takes it home today, then fair enough on him to take it with a round to go. Just goes to show how pretty dominant Blizzard has been since he kind of got his championship going at the second round.
Yeah, Blizzard, of course, taking the lead of the championship. Well, he was in the lead of the championship anyways. He's on 205 points coming into tonight. Vic Miller's in second on 159. Toxic in third on 141. It just comes to show how much gain Vic Mill had on Toxic. Because, I mean, I think he was third or fourth last week coming into the races in Italy. Toxic looking like he's not attending at this moment in time. He's certainly not within the lobby. Vic Mill, on 159 points, I would say he's guaranteed for second, to be honest.
At this point, I'd probably say it's pretty much dead on for Vic Mill. I think unless he has a bad race this time or next time out, and we see Spike at the front of the field, or maybe Honey Badger as well, I think the top two are pretty much set in place at the moment. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just replying to a message that I received. But let's run through the rest of the points in the meantime. Blizzard on top, 205 points. Vic Mill second, 159. Toxic third on 141. Spike in fourth on 133. Honey Badger in fifth on 124. Venom in sixth on 117. Good week for him last week. Siege in seventh on 114. Top seven are way ahead of Brandon Glover in 8th on 54, Ollie Flavel in 9th on 51, and Sean in 10th on 41. And I mean, looking further down the field as well, you've got Suarez on 40, Z3X on 34, Mays on 17, Nino on 15, Conti on 14, Lewis on 8, Graham on 2, and then we've got Cam, New Zealand Cam, YWR Storm, who I think are not attending tonight, and of course that IRL Neon now coming into the Prima as well. Bears into mind that some of these guys could do quite well out on track. Graham, I mean, has just joined a little bit late for the session. Hopefully he will stay in for the race. But the season in general, how would you rate it so far? I mean, we've got 2 rounds to go.
I think the season so far has been really competitive, actually. Obviously, the field is obviously split into 2 a little bit, but at the moment, inside the top 7, it's still all to play for positions, I'd say from second down, really. People are still within a chance of gaining a number of positions. Same from 8th down, really. I mean, Brandon Glover on 54 points. You could argue Brandon and Ollie Flavel really haven't had the luck this season. They probably should have way more points. They should probably be a lot closer to siege than they currently are. But they're still under pressure from people behind, like the likes of Suarez. There's loads of people behind Brandon and Ollie that can still come up and steal a spot inside the top 10 at the end of the season. So it's been really competitive.
It has been really competitive, and I think even here in Russia we're going to see quite a competitive, both races I think we'll see quite competitive races indeed. I think we're just about to get going for one-shot qualifying, spot on, and it's our favourite Scotsman once again, it's MCR Venom. We always seem to go on board with them every week, but let's see. 2 compounder tyres available, I think it's the Super Soft and the medium compounder tyres if I'm not mistaken here in Russia. So Venom on a set of Super Softs running down, in fact the whole field on a set of Super Softs, now running down towards turn 2. One wheel over this left-hand curve will cause an invalidation. Venom having a bit of opposite luck. I think Honey Badger and Lewis might have invalidated on that laps already. But now through the very flat turn 3 and then towards turn 4. There's Fish Stadium on the left-hand side where the opening ceremony took place of the Winter Olympics. The ice hockey arena to the left-hand side as well. Venom now running down through the first sector. It's a 37.6 through the first sector. Looking good so far. Obviously expect time to be around the 146s, 147s. I'm thinking out on track. Siege has been disqualified from the session. Not sure. I've never seen a disqualification actually take place within one-shot qualifying before. That was quite strange. Venom though, coming through turn 8 and then towards 9. Then in towards 10, there's the Olympic Village straight in front of the car. And now MCR Venom coming through the kink at turn 11 will open up the second DRS zone. There are 2 DRS zones, remember, one down the start finish straight, one down the main back straight. You could call it a back straight, but there's a little bit of a kink and a very heavy braking zone down in towards turn 13. You've got to try and get this spot on. I think that was a 113 through the middle sector from Venom, so nice middle sector from him. As he now comes through turn 14, then in towards 15, 16, there are the mountains just in front of the car, and he's just invalidated through turn 16, which I think is my luck of commentary currently. Venom now coming round turn 17. Nino looks like he's going to be going out on top with Blizzard, Spike and Vic Mill close in behind, and I think that's the order they'll be. And Nino gets into the 44s, a 44.9, and 2 tenths ahead of Blizzard. Wow.
Wow, brilliant lap from Nino. I was on board for him for the second half of the lap. He's incredibly neat and tidy. He wasn't really pushing the boundaries of the track either, especially at the last corner. He was very neat and tidy. But yeah, brilliant stuff from Nino, and that's a brand new pole. That's his first pole position in TTL F2, so good on for him.
That is his first pole position. He doesn't get 4 points, I'm afraid, so that's a big shame. But he's 2 tenths ahead of Blizzard, and I mean Nino and Blizzard. Nino having really good pace the last 2 weeks since he joined. Spike in 3rd, Vic Mill 4th, Sean in 5th. There's a very lactose driving lineup. 9 out of the 16 that we've got here have set laps. I mean, we've got Brandon Glover in 6th, Neon 7th, Conti 8th, Mays in 9th. They're the only 9 that actually set a time. 1.4 seconds separating the top 9. The Threekser had no time set. Siege, Venom, Ollie Flavel, Suarez, Honey Badger, Lewis, and of course Graham, who joined late, will all be racing. And most of them, about half the field there nearly, getting disqualifications. I would imagine that was probably through the right-hander at turn 10, more than anywhere else.
Probably, yeah. There's really a number of places around Russia that you can invalidate just because the curbs are so... Oh, what a surprise! It's another wet race for TTL F2. When does it not rain, honestly? I think we've had more wet races than dry at this point, but... Yeah, around Russia, because the curves are so they're so low, and there's not really much anything to them, any height or anything like that. That means that you can run over the curves really easily, so it's incredibly easy to invalidate around this track. But saying that, more people invalidated actually last time out in Italy, so I'm amazed we didn't have more invalidations in that, if I'm honest, here at Russia.
Yeah, everyone, I think, taking a bit of caution, obviously with drivers getting invalid laps, and now with it being wet conditions, wet tyres out for the guys out on track, even though I can see a set of soft compound of tyres out, which is quite strange. But everyone has started 14 laps on a set of wet compound of tyres, and really, Russia in the wet, in these F2 cars, it's going to be like driving on ice, given the figure of speech linking to the 2014 Olympics. It is going to be like driving on ice.
It absolutely is, yeah. This track is very smooth, to say the least. There's not really any undulation change or anything on this track, and the curves, like I said, are so easy to run over. You almost do it without thinking it, and you can lose traction really easily on the curves here. I think the good thing about this track, though, about driving it in the wet compared to the likes of driving the wet in Spa, which obviously they did a couple of weeks ago, like I say, there's no undulation change. There's not really any sort of way that undulation change in the track or mid-corner can really affect the cars around here. So because it is so flat, it's a bit easier to control. But yeah, wet weather driving in F2 cars as it is difficult anyway. And plus, by the looks of it, it's not really full wet conditions either. We know that Formula 2 cars don't have intermediate tyres, they only have the full wets, and then it's straight onto the dries. And this is very much intermediate conditions, so these wet tyres are going to be, their tyre temperatures are going to absolutely go through the roof.
I wonder actually if it'll dry up during the race. If we can get a report in the stream, and if you can check that as well, that'd be fantastic. Hopefully there'll be a dry period within the race. 14 laps they'll await the drivers. Obviously everyone on a set of wet compound of tyres. Lap times for the race, I'm thinking. We saw 1:44 there from Nino to set pole position. They're going to be at least 10-12 seconds slower, I think, out on track. It's going to be about the mid-150s, I think.
Yeah, I'd probably say mid-50s. It's going to be close to the 2 minutes because this track is actually quite long in effect, because there's so many corners and some of the straights are quite long. We are going to be close to the 2 minute barrier, I'd say, but if it dries up, obviously the lap times will go down a lot quicker. And honestly, if it gets wetter as well, the lap times might not actually get longer, just because it would mean that the wet tyres can perform at a better operating window, so they may be able to get more grip out of it if it wettens up as well.
It's going to be so interesting as well, obviously with qualifying being in the dry and these guys now having to adapt to wet conditions. Will most of these guys, especially towards the top end of the field, will they have dry setups in their car? I think they will.
It's a risk. It's definitely a risk to take that, because obviously there's no real setup change between the feature and the sprint. So if the sprint's dry, then it's possibly worth it. But would you want to sacrifice the feature race for the sprint race? It would make more sense really to put more emphasis on the feature.
Well, hopefully we've got no Daniel Apps amongst us from the Formula E Challenge race. Hopefully we've got no sim drivers, professional sim drivers, taking on anyone's cars here tonight. But top three from you, Aiden. Who are you predicting for the top three?
You know who I'm going to say. It's going to be Blizzard. I think that's probably going to win this one. Unless something crazy happens, I think we've got this one in the bag. I'd probably say Spike would stay in second. I think he's pretty good in the wet conditions. And Vic Mill third. I'm going for a pretty safe bet.
I'm going to go safe as well. I'm going to go Blizzard. Vic Mill normally does well in the wet. He will be second and Nino will be third. There you go, you've heard the right prediction here first. The 5 red lights, though, are about to go out for TTL F2. It's round 9 of the championship, and it's the feature race. And it is lights out and away we go. Who's got the better start? It looks like it's Blizzard. It looks like it's Spike, actually, who's nearly spun it off the start. Conti's lost a couple of positions further down the field, but Blizzard is all the way ahead of Nino. That's through turn 1, and then on the run down towards turn 2, the spray will be getting kicked up. Graham started slow in the background of shot, but Blizzard needs to run down towards turn 2. Everyone on the side of caution. Looks like Venom is trying to go and dice in between Honey Badger and Ollie Flavel there, and there's been a little bit of contact. In fact, Graham, everyone is pretty much off through turn 2. Honey Badger, May, Z Freakser might have been caught up in an incident as well. It's certainly Mays and Z Freakser that have. Brandon Glover has got past Sean early on. He's up into 6th position, and Neon is through and he's up to 5th, so Neon having a good start as well. Blizzard leads, Nino 2nd, Spike running wide in 3rd, Vic Miller's in 4th, Neon in 5th, Brandon Glover in 6th, Sean in 7th, and the front 7 have pulled away. There's a little bit of dicing going on. Lewis is down the inside of Conti trying to get the move done, runs wide through turn 5. Can he try and get the move done? He can't. Conti on the inside line will always have the favour. It looks like Venom's coming through as well. He is, and a little bit of contact possibly in behind between Ollie Flavel and Honey Badger as well. A little bit of sideways action there from Ollie as Lewis is trying to go around the outside of Conti, and Spike is out of the race, and he spun that, it looks like, into the wall. He might have got caught in the curb on the inside, I think. That's what might have happened there. He might have got caught on the inside. I didn't see if he was any close enough to the guys out on head. We're focusing on the Lewis Ollie Flavel battle that has totally kicked off. Neon is trying to get the move done on Vic Mill as well. I think Spike spun out of 5th, if I'm not mistaken. 4th.
Oh, Blizzard's wide.
Blizzard is wide. Nino wide as well. Nino right on the back of Blizzard, trying to get down the inside line. Can Nino get it? It's the Welshman against the Brits. The Welshman down the inside through 10-15. Can he get the move done? Blizzard's on the inside line now. Vic Mill, Neon, and Brandon Glover's catching up as well. But towards the end of lap 1, it's still side by side pretty much between Blizzard and Nino. But it is Blizzard who leads on to lap 1. At the end of lap 1, Nino very late on the brakes and totally missing his braking point there. But Blizzard leads, Nino 2nd, Vic Mill 3rd. Neon with a blistering start up to 4th. Brandon Glover in 5th. The ball has gone flying. I'm out of breath through already on lap 1.
Yeah, that was a crazy lap 1. I was actually riding on board with Vic Mill when Spike crashed. Vic Mill was in place behind him. Spike just understeered straight off the track. That was the kind of the order really of the first lap.
Neon!
Neon!
Miles late! Oh!
Just about managed to hold it, but here comes Brandon Glover up the inside and he's back up to 4. Yeah, Brandon Glover making his way through. But yes, that was kind of the story of the first lap, is everyone was understeering off left, right and centre. Vic Mill had to avoid, I think it was Nino at one point on the opening lap as well, and go wide. But yeah, people were just understeering off the track left, right and centre. There's absolutely no grip at all.
No grip at all, and I mean, we've got 16 drivers still going. Spike the only one, the only casualty on lap 1, which I think is quite remarkable, given that these guys have transitioned from a set of dry compound of tyres, essentially, to a set of wets. And I think they're doing quite well out on track. We've got a bit of a battle between Z3 and Suarez going on for 14th and 15th. Of course, not a point scoring position here in TTL F2, but it looks like Z3 is just repaying off the favour. There's a little bit of a dry line forming, a dry racing line forming, and you can see the cars actually even further down the field. They're understeering off. Maze is catching the Z3 Suarez battle as well. It's now 3.6 seconds. It was 4.2 at the beginning of the lap. Let's focus further up the field. Siege trying to get the move done on Sean. We're going to see another battle between these two, and Honey Badger as well on Lewis, side by side. Can Lewis get the outside line? Honey Badger's on the inside line. Looks like he's got the move done. Nearly outbreaks himself. Lewis trying to turn in, but I think he didn't realise. Oh, and Lewis has gone sideways, drifting through turn 14. How on earth he's kept that is absolutely unbelievable. Siege is trying to get the inside of Sean, and Sean very much struggling out on track. Looks like he's made a mistake. Venom is making a good come back through the field as well, and Venom's trying to go on the outside of turn 17. No way is he going to try and complete this. He's still on the outside line, but he remains in 8th place for now. He looks like he might get the better run. Let's go on board with him. Blizzard looks like he might have made a mistake. It's 5/10 the gap between Nino. Vic Miller's in 3rd. Brandon Glover 4th. Neon in 5th. The front 5 are away from Sean, Siege and Venom. What is going to happen here on the run down towards turn 1? It would be DRS enabled. Looks like Venom's trying to go around the outside of Siege. Siege has had to cut the track. He's totally outbroken himself. And it's like the parting of the Red Sea for Venom. He read that to absolute perfection. And Venom has gained 2 places within the space of a corner, and Sean has been mullered around the outside, possibly by Honey Badger as well. Sean losing a whole host of positions, but my God, Moses will be proud of that one.
Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant for Venom. He really read that one well. Just actually, I was going to make a note on the first lap. I think Venom and Ollie Flavel actually came into contact, and that's what ended up spinning Maze off and Z-Glixer. So those two are running well with front wing damage, Ollie Flavel and Venom. So fair enough for Venom pulling that move off with a missing end plate.
Yeah, Lewis just trying to go for a push to pass on Honey Badger. Honey Badger subsequently picking up a 3-second time penalty. I caught that on stream, so I don't think he might be getting away with that one. But he has got the move done. The stewards might take a bit of a look into that, because that was definitely what I like to call a push to pass. He contacted the back end. Whether he messed up his braking point as Sean tries to go around the outside of Honey Badger now is a different thing. But Sean getting the move done around the outside of Honey Badger, and it looks like he is really struggling out on track. I mean, he's lost, what, 4 positions in the space of a lap, pretty much. Honey Badger down to the inside line, Sean on the outside line, Campos against Arc 1-3, and the Arc 1-3 driver dives it down the inside. He's went a bit too deep, though. Here comes Sean around the outside, Lewis making a mistake as well, and Sean's trying to keep this all the way around the outside. The traction always going to be on the outside of the corner. Honey Badger holds firm on the inside line and holds position. Good reading of the scenario there by Honey Badger and Sean. Good battling, and Honey Badger back up to 9th.
Yeah, fair enough from Honey Badger. I actually think that the problem there for Sean is that he expected the traction to be on the outside of the corner on the racing line, but it looks like it's drying up. I think the rain's completely stopped at this point, so it's definitely drying up now, and running the wet tyres on the dry line compared to Honey Badger on the wetter part of the track, Honey Badger actually ended up with the advantage there. So that's how Honey Badger held on to the position, but yeah, I definitely don't think Lewis is getting away with that one. Meanwhile, Siege is coming back at Venom for P6, looking down the inside, turn 2, but he's not confident enough on the brakes to make the move stick. However, Venom's going to understeer massively through this next corner. This long 180-degree left-hander, probably the most famous corner on the track. See how much Venom struggles with understeer through the corner. You can see Siege catching mid-corner, but he's not able to get close enough to make the move stick into turn 4.
It's all about feathering the throttle through turn 4. Sean, in the meantime, is trying to dive around the outside of Honey Badger. Honey Badger just off camera on the corner, forcing him off track slightly. I don't think there was any losing that. Sean might be weaving slightly there, but I think that was a fair move. It looked like it was off camera of the corner. So Honey Badger up to 9th, Sean back up to 10th, and Honey Badger, in fact, is going to let him through. So I'm not sure if there was anything caught up in that through turn 3, perhaps. I certainly didn't catch it on the stream, but Honey Badger has let Sean through, so Sean back up to 9th. Ollie Flevel looks like he's struggling slightly with Conti. Graham, in the meantime, has gone for up to 13th, and very interestingly, Suarez and Mays both into the pits for a set of mediums. I mean, there's still spray coming off the track. That's the wrong call.
It's a gamble, absolutely. I mean, but they're running at the back of the field anyway.
I mean,
they've got to try something at least to try and gain some time back. I actually think as well, while we were on board with that Honey Badger and Sean battle, I think Suarez.
Oh, Honey Badger's gone deep. Sorry to cut in. Sean ran the outside. Honey Badger going way too deep. Conti going even deeper. He's nearly into the wall there, the Dutchman. But Sean has run the outside on Honey Badger, gets the move done, and he's up into 9th place. Sorry, what were you saying there?
I was going to say, I think that while Honey Badger and Sean were battling, I actually think Z3 and Suarez came into contact, which is why they ended up so close to Mays. But as I say that, just hopped on board with Suarez, he actually spun around in a straight line, so you can definitely tell that it's not dry enough yet.
Neon, interestingly, is into the pit lane, so this is going to be quite interesting, as is Honey Badger, as is Ollie Flavel. So these guys clearly going for a bit of a change in strategy. Z3 into the pits. All of these guys will be going for a set of drives. I think it's a lap too early.
On board with Mays, he has absolutely no grip. If you go on board with Mays, he's running around in 3rd gear, barely hitting 100 miles an hour before he spins in a straight line. There's absolutely no grip.
I mean, it's visible even from the broadcast cam, and I'll go on board as well. Oh, and he spins it into the wall. Goodness me! You can see how much they. I mean, Honey Badger, Suarez is round as well, and he's completely gone. Honey Badger going on to a set of super softs in the meantime.
Okay.
I don't want to be rude by saying this, but is he out of his mind by going on a set of super softs in the wet?
I mean, he can possibly take them to the end because he's obviously not going to be pushing too hard at this point in the race because of the wet conditions, but any sort of spin, and those tyres are absolutely cooked. There's no way that he's going to be able to get those to the end of the race, and you can just see on board with him, he has absolutely no grip. He just cannot put the throttle down.
DRS enabled, I think, will come at the end of this lap, perhaps. I think it will. Yeah, because that track certainly looking drier, and I can't see any more spray being kicked off the cars. It's normally an indicator of about a 30-second to a minute gap away from DRS being enabled. I mean, Nino and Vickmill are now beginning to struggle. There's a yellow flag, and I think that was Suarez. And he's just been lapped as well by Blizzard. And here comes the leaders. Oh my God, Nino's nearly lost it. Jesus, good car control there by Nino. It looks like these guys might go on for an extra lap, but I think Blizzard is going to come into the pits, is he? He is. So Blizzard is going to come in. Nino in, Vickmill in, Z3's around in the dries as well. He's on a set of mediums. Tell you what, Honey Badger's actually catching on Neon. He's on a set of super softs. It might not be a half bad strategy, to be honest, at the end of the day.
Yeah,
there we
he's
go.
Got a lot more grip, he's got a lot more grip than the people on the mediums, but I was on board with Honey Badger for the first part of his lap. He was all over the place, and he's just run wide actually in the braking zone for that corner. So while it is drying out, these dry tyres are still nowhere near their optimum window, and I think Venom and Siege have realised that, and they stayed out for another lap on the wets.
They have stayed out for another lap, but Suarez has retired. I think that was in the pit lane where he might have retired that. Blizzard is out in the net lead of the race. Will be quite interesting to see where Neon is going to come out in all of this. Venom as well has had a moment. Oh yeah, through turn 3.
Yeah, he went straight on at turn 2. He hit the brakes and the car just didn't stop. He went straight on, and Siege managed to get his way through. But at this point, I think this is the crossover window just about now. Just on board with Blizzard, seeing how quickly he can catch Venom. Oh, look at that. It takes 2 seconds out of him in the first corner. So yeah, I think it might have just reached that window just about now.
Neon has gained on Lewis. He's came out just ahead of Lewis, so he went a little bit of a lap earlier. Honey Badger, I think, as well, is miles ahead of Sean. Those two guys were very much battling out on track. Honey Badger on a set of super soft compound of tyre. He is surely going to be mincemeating his way through the field. I mean, you can already see how much grip he's got in comparison to the guys on a set of mediums. These are a fresh set of mediums, remember. Honey Badger on 1 lap all supers, purple first sector, he's charging.
He is absolutely charging. He's obviously got the tyre grip at this point in the race, but he doesn't want to burn through those tyres too quickly and run the risk of hitting a puncture at the end of the race. It is absolutely possible with these tyres because they're so much softer than the medium tyres. That is the problem for Honey Badger. And I was actually just, with Neon's gap, he was only about a second behind Brandon Glover. He ended up about 6 seconds back coming out of the pits. So he lost a net about 5 seconds to the guys in front. He's actually pretty lucky to stay in 7th place.
He's very lucky. Honey Badger, in the meantime, better get the move done on Lewis. This is down the straight, and I mean, Honey Badger's just absolutely breezed past him. TTSL enabled, remember. So Honey Badger is through, and he's intranet P6 out on track. And that's going to set him in good stead, possibly for a late charge through the field. Siege and Venom, in the meantime, are into the pits. Maze is back into the pits as well.
That's going to cost Siege. His pit crew are going to have to be readjusting from when Maze came in. And Siege is going to be in the pit box for longer than he wants.
But in the meantime, Honey Badger has got the move done on Neon, as we've said. Blizzard now leads by a very comfortable gap of around 2 seconds, I think it is. 1.7 seconds, the gap. Nino was in second, Vicknell in third, Brandon Glover in fourth. We haven't taken a look at the position changes, and I mean, have a look at the position changes, because Honey Badger's gained 9, Lewis has gained 9. Unreal stuff.
Yeah, they've had brilliant starts so far. Obviously, it's a shame that they weren't at the front of the field in qualifying, but fair enough, the great recovery from them, and Honey Badger's right on the back of Neon already, so can't Honey Badger out of another good result. But after Neon, it's a really big gap to the top 4, so 5th place at the moment is looking like the best that Honey Badger can achieve.
Yeah, Blizzard leading the way 1.6 seconds. Honey Badger currently, as you say, is in 6th position, just having a tiny bit of a sideways moment coming through turn 4, but now through up towards turn 5. Been a relatively good race so far, and I've just lost the detail on my spectator menu. I need to get that back up. Honey Badger, in the meantime, on the back of Neon, and I mean, he is getting into contention. Neon, of course, former Nexus Esports driver, Neon Rapid. He's Irish, of course. I think I called him English the last time I saw him on the stream here on TTTV. So let's get that straight out the back. Oh, and he's actually spun! Neon has spun, and that's the look of the Irish right there.
That is such a shame for Neon. He was running a brilliant debut race, but he just got caught on the outside curb, and it's still not fully dry yet. And yeah, it's just caught him out, and he's hit the wall. That's such a shame for Neon. Hopefully he keeps going and he stays for the sprint race, because he's got really decent pace actually, running in 5th place in his first race. That's such a shame for him, but still positives to take out of this one.
Let me reiterate what I just said there. That's not the look of the Irish for Neon. And Neon, in fact, is going to let through Ollie Flavel and Venom. Sean has picked up a 3-second time. I believe that was through on the outside of turn 14, I think it was. So Ollie Flavel, in the meantime, on the back of Venom. I mean, Venom, was he caught up in a little bit early contact? Because he's out in 10th position. He's gained 2 positions. But, I mean, my prediction has gone totally downhill.
Well, Venom's... he had to replace his front wing in the pit stop. He was involved in the lap 1 incident with the likes of Ollie Flavel and Maze and Z3, so that's where he got his front wing damage. That's where he's dropped way behind the likes of Conti and Sean. He would be obviously way ahead of these guys, he could probably be in front of these guys at that time, but that's why he's dropped so far back. But at the moment, we'll have to see if he can catch Conti and Sean before the end of the race.
He might have. a bit of trouble behind him, because Ollie Flavel is right on the back of him, and that was trouble and a half actually coming out of turn 3. Did very well to recover the car, so Venom now coming through turn 3. Should say that was out of turn 2. Venom holding on from Ollie Flavel. Ollie's trying to look to see if Venom can make a mistake out on track. Nemo, by the way, has got superior pace, and he's a second off the back of Blizzard. We normally talk about Blizzard dominating races, but this is more sedate, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure whether this is Nino running at a better pace than Blizzard, or Blizzard just running pretty cautiously, doing what he has to do to win the championship. But still, even if, brilliant pace from Nino to stay ahead of Vic Mill and keep Blizzard under pressure. This is a brilliant race from him.
If I'm not mistaken as well, we'll try and do a bit of quick maths coming through into the closing stages, but as it stands out on track, if I'm not mistaken, Blizzard will be on 230 points. If he gets fastest lap, will be 231 points. Vic Mill will be on 174 points. So what's that gap? 234, 230, 231 to what? 174. What's that?
174. That is 26 and 31. So that is a number.
A number.
That is 57 points. That's a 57-point gap going into the sprint race.
57-point gap. Conti in the meantime on the back of Sean. Super soft compounder tyres against medium. Sean nearly coming across on Conti there. Conti at the inside line. Sean didn't want to be coming across on him. But Conti is through and he's up into 8th position. Sean will have a bit of a look in towards turn 1. But he's not going to get the move done through turn 2 in fact. And Sean in fact trying to go down the inside line. We'll have a bit of better traction. Normally when you go on the inside line you have better traction, but I've just, I think, ruined his line, to be honest, there by saying that, because that was a bit slow, and Conti now ahead and up to 8th.
Yeah, fair enough from Conti. He's running the same strategy as his ART teammate Honey Badger. He's gone for the super softs as well. They're performing pretty well so far, but Honey Badger passed Lewis and got to about a 1.5 second gap, and it's not really extended from there on in, so I don't know if Honey Badger's reached the peak of his tyres.
He might have. He's 4.9 seconds off the back of Brandon Glover at this stage. He's nearly 2 seconds ahead of Lewis. But what we have to bear in mind as well, with this super soft compounder tyres that some of these guys are on, it's a very heavy wearing track, I think. It's something like 4 or 5% sometimes on a set of super softs, even in normal Formula 1 cars. So it's going to be taking quite a lot out of the tyres. And with it being cloudy as well, mediums will be running at a much better temperature compared to the supers.
Yeah, definitely. The mediums will be running at a much better temperature. And obviously we know that the super soft, oh my word, just on board behind him, I had a massive moment on the inside of that corner. But yeah, the super soft tyres are going to be graining pretty heavily at this point. The cold temperatures, you would think usually suit the super soft, but it's not really the case, because you just can't get the peak performance out of them. You can't get the temperature into them, and then all of a sudden they'll overheat. But one person that is getting the performance out of the super soft is Siege. He's right on the back of Lewis for P6. He's going to go around the outside of turn 1. Got the short line speed to get him. Yeah, look at that. Breezes past. So Siege up into 6th place. Can he catch down Honey Badger for 5th?
Yeah, very easy move that from Siege. We caught that beautifully on board with him. In the meantime, Lewis has actually got a superior run out of turn 2, trying to get the move done, trying to go around the outside. The sun has now broken through, so the supers will now begin to warm up. So they'll begin to come into play, I think, out on track, which I think is why you saw Siege past Lewis so easily. He's now up to 6th position, a little bit of a lag back there, but Lewis doing a good job in 7th as well. Conti now in 8th. He's got 5.5 seconds to catch on Lewis, but I don't think that gap is going to close too soon. In the meantime as well, we've got Z3 on the back of Graham further down the field. Graham obviously joined the session a little bit late, but he's doing a fantastic job out on track to be in 12th and nearly be within shout of the points.
Yeah, he's nearly within shout of the points now. He's doing pretty well actually running down there, but I think at this point it's going to be a tough ask for you to get into the points from this point in the race. But you never know what can happen. We've seen some crazy stuff so far this season, so it could change in a matter of seconds, really.
Now that you've said that, it probably will. It probably will.
Probably manifested it, and it's probably going to happen. Just another note though, this is starting to up the pace a little bit now. Nino's dropping back ever so slightly. It's about a couple of tenths a lap, but Nino's not quite able to get in Blizz's DRS zone. I don't know whether Blizz is just playing with him at this point, and maybe allowing him to get close and then just pulling away just as Nino starts to get in the DRS zone, but it's just not quite working out for Nino at the moment. Same for Vic Mill, really, and Brandon Glover. They've kind of run a race on their own at the moment in 3rd and 4th. Good races from them, but I'm sure they probably would have wanted more considering that they're at the front of the field, but they just can't get any further up. But fair enough on the good races so far.
Yeah, just run above those Z3, so that is a car off on track. It's Ollie Flavel that is off on track, actually. So Ollie has now lost 2 positions. He's lost out at turn 14 all by himself. He was trying to chase down Venom in the meantime. So Ollie now down into 13th. Get on with it. That's what I say to Ollie. I think he's within range. He's certainly got the pace to pass them again. It's whether he's got the tyres is another thing, because obviously he's overheated them once, but I mean, look, he's already on the back of Graham, and he now will pick up the DRS on him, and this should be maybe one of the easiest moves you might see all night. Ollie to the outside line, Graham on the inside on. The Frenchman I don't think is going to put up a battle here. It's Campos against Sauber Jr., and the Sauber Jr. car is through, and Ollie Flavel through, and he's up to 12th. As I say, maybe one of the easiest moves you'll see all night.
Absolutely, it may be, yeah. See if Ollie Flavel can get past C3X as well and into position in case anyone inside the top 10 retires. Nino actually just picked up a 3-second time penalty. He's just over 3 seconds ahead of Vicknell at this point. So he's got P2 safe in the bag, but he's going to want to keep pushing to make sure that he builds the gap a bit more over Vicknell and keeps that P2 result.
But yeah, Blizzard, obviously, Nino, as you say, 3-second time penalty. 1.4 seconds, I mean, the gap between Blizzard and Nino. I think Nino's done a relatively good job to even keep up with Blizzard, to be honest. I think he's certainly putting himself forward, maybe as we go into TTML F2 next season, as a contender.
Absolutely, he's definitely a contender, I think.
Ollie Flavel spun again.
Oh, that's such a shame.
Through turn 9, that was. And he's lost his left side end plate, so unfortunately for Ollie, I think he's just applied the power a little bit too much. He's now back down to 13th position. Sorry, what were you saying there?
I was going to say that this is a promising pace from Nino, actually. Yeah, we know that in his debut he showed pretty decent pace. Italy didn't go his way. He had a bit of bad luck and was involved in a couple of incidents. But showing really good pace so far in this feature race around Russia. And he's definitely comfortably faster than Vicknell, who's currently second in the championship and is consistency himself. So if Nino puts his hat in and does a full season next year, don't count him out of a brilliant result and maybe a fight for the championship.
Vickmill is losing time as well to Nino, so Nino's either up the pace or Vickmill's getting slower out on track. One of those two things.
I think that's just been the story whole race, really, is that Vickmill's relatively similarly paced, but just hasn't quite that extra 2-3 tenths. And Nino's able to just, when he needs to, he's able to just push a little bit harder and get a bit closer to Blizzard and pull even further away from Vickmill, and Vickmill just doesn't have the pace to respond.
Yeah, Nino 1.7 seconds. Vickmill hasn't got the pace to respond at all. Brandon Glover, in the meantime, is in 4th. He's had a very quiet race, but a good race nonetheless.
Yeah, it's definitely a good race. He's obviously had a lot more luck than he's had so far this season. And at the moment, I think Honey Badger's strategy's not quite worked for him. So Brandon Glover's pretty safe in P4.
He is, yeah, and I think Honey Badger obviously 4.1 seconds behind him. Brandon Glover is going to be finishing probably in P4 unless he's picked up any time penalties out on track. Ollie, by the way, has just rejoined out of the pits, so he's trying to go for the fastest lap point in 14th. Mays, by the way, still continuing on down in 15th. He's doing a relatively good job. I mean, keep calm and carry on, I think, is the motto for Mays tonight. And obviously he hasn't had the best luck, and I mean, let's reiterate what happened on Friday, and I know he'll be probably atting me later on with this. But, Blizzard has picked up a 3-second time penalty. And was that his first or second one? I think he picked the one up earlier on.
I'll have a double check now, actually. I'm not quite sure myself. I think it's his first.
It was lap 1 or 2, I think he picked it up, if I'm not mistaken. Unless it was somebody else.
I think it's somebody else who's just picked up his first penalty, that is for Blizzard. So, just having a look at Nino's. Nino's got 1 penalty as well. Vickmill has only 2 warnings at this point in the race. Brandon Glover only has 2 warnings as well. So the top 2 have penalties, 3rd and 4th don't at this current point.
Blizzard though, 1.9 seconds ahead. We've got Siege catching onto the back of Honey Badger. And to be honest, I didn't think I'd expect to see Siege catch onto the back of Honey Badger before the end of the race. But to second the gap, Honey Badger obviously on a wearing set of supers. Siege coming in, probably one of the latest drivers in that round of pit stops that we saw. He is now in 6th position. Can he get him before the end of the race? A second's not too far to gain. I mean, say 10ths now.
9 tenths. Yeah, it's 9 tenths of a second now, and he's within DRS range, and you can see just Honey Badger running wide and struggling for traction. Siege 2 laps, it makes all the difference really in a 50% race. So Siege is definitely within a shot. You've got a yellow flag somewhere.
Maze.
Yeah, it was from Maze, yeah. But yeah, Siege now even closer because of the DRS, so P5 is definitely on the cards, and don't count Lewis out either. If these two start fighting, Lewis is still there to pounce if any mistake is made.
Yeah, Lewis again having a very good race. I think he joined a couple of races ago, and obviously debuted very well, I thought. And I was in Hungary, if I'm not mistaken, where he debuted. Yeah. Lewis has had a bit of a slow burner of a race here tonight, but again, he's consistent, and when he's consistent, he is good. And Lewis has certainly proven that he can put there probably with the top end of the field, I think. And going forward for TTML, it's certainly going to be a good thing to do. We're on the final lap, by the way. Blizzard leads Nino in second. Vic Miller's in third. Brandon Glover now in fourth. He looks like he's lost a bit of time, actually, to Vic Miller. It's 6.9 seconds the gap. Honey Badger fifth. Siege in sixth. Lewis in seventh. There's not really been much going on in these last couple of laps.
Yeah, I think to say for a TTL F2 race, this has been relatively tame. It's been a pretty tame race. Everyone's kind of ended up in their rightful positions, really. No one's really out of place at this point in the race, and everyone's kind of running around at the pace they can. I think probably the closest battles between Honey Badger and Siege, but Siege only really has one opportunity left in this race to really make it stick, and that's down at the end of the second DRS zone. The other one to look out for, though, Sean is re-catching Conti for first grid pole. So have a look at that one before the end of the race.
Blizzard, though, has only got roughly just under half a lap to go, and Blizzard now is going to dominate. Whether he will take the championship into this race, whether he takes the championship now, is another thing. I didn't pass my GCSE maths, so I don't know. So we'll have to wait and find out, to be honest. Blizzard 3 seconds clear. Nino, Vickman is gaining on it. Nino actually out on track. Ollie Flavel just rockets in with the new fastest lap of the race. Siege is on the back of Honey Badger, not close enough though. Blizzard is coming around the final 2 corners out on track, and he will come across the line to win. Sean, I think, is going to have a go at Conti. He is down the inside line. Can Sean get reverse grip pole? He's trying to go around the outside here of Conti. Sorry to Blizzard, we cut him off crossing the line, but Sean right on the back of Conti. I want to get this on board with as much as possible. Siege is catching the back of Honey Badger as well. He's not going to be close enough towards the line, and Honey Badger will come across the line for 5th. Siege is in 6th, but Honey Badger's penalties really force him down the order. 7th for him. Conti and Sean, if these guys haven't got penalties, I know Sean's got quite a few. Sean down, actually, same penalties as Conti, which is quite surprising. But Venom gets reverse grid pole.
Yeah, Venom running around just behind them, jumps them without having a penalty. So fair enough from Venom, he will take reverse grid pole. It's a shame for Conti. I think Conti hasn't been on reverse grid pole yet this season. And he had it in the palm of his hands for about 3 seconds, and then Venom stole it off him in the end. But yeah, good stuff from Venom to come back to P8 after the kind of disaster really he had in the first lap.
Neon having that spin, of course. He was running in a very high position in the early stages of the race, so Neon going to be coming across the line in 13th. But again, he's a bit like Lewis when he debuted in Hungary. He was consistent, and then he had a bad race, and that set him back. Lewis has came back to finish 6th. Are we expecting Neon to put on a good performance in the sprint race? I think we should expect quite a lot from him as he spins and reverses across the line. Now, I'm not sure whether that's allowed or not. I haven't seen anybody reverse across the line before in TTL F2, I don't think. But Neon starting it out. Ollie Flavel, in the meantime, coming across the line and behind. And Ollie Flavel across the line to finish in 14th position. And I think there was 15 finishers out on track. Of course, Mays was the other finisher. YWR Storm has just joined in as well. So we should be up to 18 drivers for the for the sprint race. But it's that man again. It is Blizzard who takes pole. Needle second. Vic Mill in third. Blizzard once again taking another win out on track. Whether that secures him the championship, we'll have to find out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think at this point, though, I think even if he hasn't won it at this point, it's dead on really for Blizzard. Not really anything anyone can do at this point. I mean, it's a shame. It's good obviously for Blizzard that the championships ended up this way, because he's absolutely dominated from the second round onwards. But we've kind of been robbed of a championship rattle, really, haven't we? Blizzard's been so fast and so consistent that no one's been able to get close.
I mean, he even had a 3-second time penalty, and because Ollie Flavel is out of the top 10, I think Blizzard gets the fastest lap of the race as well. Yeah. So Blizzard on top with a 47.5. Nino in second. Vic Mill is in third. Brandon Glover in fourth. Siege in 5th, but Lewis from 16th up to 6th, and Honey Badger 7th, from 15th on the grid up to 7th. Venom starting in reverse grid pole, Conti in 9th, Sean in 10th, Threexa Graham, Neon, Ollie Flavel, Maisel finish. It was Suarez and Spike too that didn't finish. Heartbreaking for Spike because he just lost it by himself as well. Are we going to see him charge through the field in the sprint race?
I think so, absolutely. I think we can definitely see that. I think we'll see that from a few drivers as well. There's a number of people, obviously, reverse grids for the top 8 really spices up the race and it adds a new dynamic to it. So we'll see a number of people fight through. It's all really dependent on how the first lap goes, because first laps in sprint race recently have been a little bit messy, to say the least. So it's it all depends really on how the first lap goes.
It will all depend, and I think, honestly, we're going to see quite a good race. YWR Storm, I think, has left the session, so he won't be taking part any further within this race, within the sprint race. So, unfortunately for him, he's not going to be joining. But we have got 17 drivers once again to take you through, and, of course, it is a dry race. So, the sprint race now, obviously, these guys will be on a set of medium compounded tyres. You can't change onto a set of super softs, but out on track, I think this is going to be maybe one of the best sprint races of the season. Now that I've said that, it probably won't be.
Now that you've said that, you've cursed it, and I'm going to run out of breath by the time we get midway through lap 1. But yeah, we know that racing's obviously brilliant in sprint races, so fingers crossed we get more of the same. And I think this lineup actually could give us a brilliant race. We've got pretty much, I'd say, the fastest top 8 in the field are in the top 8 of in the race at the moment. So it's going to be a real battle to the finish line.
It is going to be a real battle to the finish line. Of course, 11 laps await the drivers out on track tonight. Everyone on a set of medium compound of tyres. Venom on top, Honey Badger second. Of course, the top 8 are reversed. But you couldn't ask for a better top 8. We have got the potential. I think I said it last week and the week before as well. But we've got the potential here, within the top 8, to see something special. I think that was reiterated by your comments as well, like you said just then. But who on earth is going to take this? It looks wide open, I think.
Honestly, at this point, I think any one of the top 8 could win this one, just because even though Blizzard obviously won that race and it was pretty comfortable in the end, the gaps between the top 8, despite all the chaos in the first lap, weren't as big as we've seen at other races. It was a lot closer. So I think if track position actually around here is pretty good, because overtaking opportunities aren't, while they're possible, it's pretty difficult because it's not really low speed corners and not heavy braking zones. Braking zones are quite short at this track, so being in front could be a real benefit around here. So I think any one of the top 8 could win this one.
If you are just tuning in to TTL F2, yes, James Head and Aidan Carter taking you through the action as always. We are about to be prepared for the sprint race. And obviously we saw a great feature race there. In terms of action, not that great, but some of the overtakes obviously quite easy, I think, with how the race unfolded out on track. We should see, I think, some good racing here once again. The sprint race has been known for a little bit of chaos in the back. But I'm going to come to you now. Who's going to be your top 3?
Oh my word, I think this is going to be the hardest to predict of the season. Oh my word, who do I think? I think, depending on the start, I think Venom might take this one. I think second, I'm going to go for Honey Badger second. Third, I'm going to go for Nino in third.
Repeat that again.
So Venom, Honey Badger, Nino are my top 3.
Venom, Honey Badger, Nino, interesting. I'm going to go a bit wild and wacky with this one. Blizzard, Blizzard for the win. Venom second. Vic Mill third.
Fair enough.
And I'll let you take the start.
Here we go then. Just waiting for Spike. That's another person to look out for as well. Spike from the back of the grid. Look out for him in this one. We know how fast he is. He's going to be slicing his way through the field in this one. Okay, then we wait for the 5 red lights in front of the drivers. Here they come then. Who's going to get the best start off the line? Is it the MP, the Motorsport, or is it the ARC Grand Prix of Honey Badger? Off the line, it's a relatively equal start. I think Honey Badger actually got a little bit of a better start, but Venom's able to move across in front of Honey Badger and defend the line into turn 1. Siege, meanwhile, Lewis had a bit of a poor start, so Siege and Brandon Glover are already up the inside, as is Vic Mill. Venom all the way to the wall defending turn 1 as Honey Badger looks to the outside. They're 4 wide in the background. Meanwhile, Honey Badger tries to go around the outside of the turn 2, is still there. Venom gave him just about enough room. There's a little bit of contact in the background. I think Ollie Flowers got around again, unfortunately. Honey Badger, though, down the inside of turn 4, the long turn 4. Honey Badger's made it stick. Look at Vic Mill all the way around the outside of Lewis for P5. Is he going to hold the place he is? Lewis has had a bit of a poor start. He's dropped a few places. Lewis has passed Nino, meanwhile, for P7. Lewis looking to come back at Vic Mill. At the end of the first sector, though, Vic Mill runs a little bit wide. Oh, he just about holds the car. Lewis just about avoids him as well. Lewis looking up the inside though for the next corner. Lewis has got the inside line, but Vickmel's going to power around the outside, but he is off the track. He's going to complete the move off the track, so I don't know if Vickmel might give that one up. You got Nino trying to come back at Blizzard as well for P7. At the front of the field though, Honey Badger took the lead, but Venom's not giving up on it just yet. It's only about 0.2 of a second. As I say that though, Venom runs a little bit wide on the exit, the corner just before the back straight, and Badger put his way a little bit more. So Brandon Glover up to 30, had a good start. Being behind, here comes Lewis again, and Blizzard all battling for fifth place with Vickmel. Vickmel right to the inside of the track. Does Lewis look down the inside? He does. Vickmel takes the racing line. Oh, Vickmel squeezes him right to the apex. They don't make contact somehow. Vickmel holds the inside line for the next corner. Lewis is on the curb, so he has to back out to the traction. Here comes Blizzard down the inside for the off-camber right-hander. Left-hander, sorry. Let's see if Blizzard can come through. He can't. He has to stick behind. So this one wants P6 for the time being. But Blizzard coming down the inside for the penultimate corner. He won't give up on this position with Blizzard. Goes down the inside. He forces Lewis a little bit wide. Lewis is still there though. Lewis still trying to hang it around the outside, but Blizzard gets moved on, and that's going to put Nino right back of him now as well. But a relatively tame first lap in the end. Only Ollie Febble and Bonte getting into contact in the background. Spike from 17th on the grid already up to 11th. He's had a brilliant start. Looking out, here comes Siege on Brandon Glover. He's not quite close enough for a move for P3. And Blizzard and Lewis are still side by side. These two will not give it up. Blizzard forces Lewis out of road a little bit. Lewis gets a little bit sideways on the exit of the corner. And here comes Nino around the outside. Nino completes the move. So Nino is now up into P7. He follows Blizzard through.
Yeah, Nino trying to get the move done as well on Blizzard. Lewis trying to come back, and there's Spike diving it down the inside of Sean. Ooh. In the background, a shot from an absolute mile back, trying to get the move done. It looks like he's just about ahead. In fact, he is ahead. So yeah. Spike gets the move done through turn 4, and he's up in towards 10th position. Honey Badger leads, Venom second, Brandon Glover in third. It was Ollie Flavel and Conti, as you say, who had a bit of a contact. I think Ollie's just going around the outside of him through turn 4, so he's now into P16. Everyone's still going out on track. For a sprint race start, I think that's probably one of the best we've seen this season.
That's probably the cleanest start, including feature races. One person to foul, although Vickmel's all over the back of Siege. Vickmel, he gapped Lewis while he was battling with Blizzard, and now Nino's managed to put Vickmel, sorry, put the power down, and he's catching Siege pretty quickly. Let's see if Vickmel can make his way through. DRS obviously not enabled just yet, so he's not going to be able to make the move into the corner. We'll have to wait and see if he can make the move there into turn 2. Blizzard though is trying to follow him through, and look at Lewis trying to come back at Nino as well.
Yeah, Suarez trying to get onto the back of Sean. I was just catching on board with an 11th and 12th, doing a fantastic job, I think, Suarez from the back of the grid. Made us up to 13th. Obviously, Neon is down there in 15th position, but very good start. It looks like to me, though, Honey Badger and Venom are now beginning to pull away out in front, and Brandon Glover might be beginning to hold up a little bit of a train in behind, with Siege, Vickmel and Blizzard close in behind, and Nino is under pressure, all sorts of pressure from Lewis, and as is Suarez on the back of Sean. Which one do you pick? I'm not sure. Blizzard trying to get the move done on Vickmel, though, in the meantime. Is he going to try and pull out for the move? Nino feels like he's going to defend the inside line, and he does, and he keeps position. Suarez trying to go all the way around the outside, and unfortunately, he's got way too deep, and Nino was round. What happened there?
Yeah, he just went over the curb, lost traction at the rear end and spun. He hit the wall, but somehow didn't get any damage, so fair enough. He can keep going and maybe hopefully a little bit of chaos later on, but yeah, Nino just lost it on traction on the exit turn 3.
That now promotes Sean into the points as well. Spike up to 9th, he through to an 8th. Blizzard trying to get onto the back of Vickmel in the meantime. Honey Badger leads 8.5 of a second. Venom in second, Brandon Glover in third. Ollie Flavel is round through turn 4 again. He really hasn't had the best of luck, has he, Mr. Flavel?
He really hasn't. He could be, I'd probably say, had he had the luck of lights of the leaders in the standings, he'd probably be around Siege in the championship, but it really has not gone Ollie Flavel's way this season. Hopefully he continues next season. He's definitely got the place to be a front runner, so fingers crossed he keeps at it. Yeah,
Lewis has just been absolutely mincemeated down the straight. Siege is trying to get through on Brandon Glover as well for third, trying to get the move done. He's around the outside. Oh, a little bit of contact. But Siege, I think, arguably had the car ahead and arguably gets the move done. And Blizzard is trying to go 3 wide. This is not going to work, surely. Blizzard trying to go very deep into the corner. Can he get 2 for 1? He's around the outside. Vickmel and Brandon Glover. Oh, and it's all sorts of carnage. Z3 is going to come through as well. Wow. Blizzard, I don't think, going to be very happy with that one, to be honest. It looks like Vickmel and Brandon Glover were the instigators of that, to be honest.
Honestly, I'd actually say Blizzard was the instigator of that one. He went 3 wide into the off-hand camber left-hander and forced Brandon Glover out of the road while Victor was still there. So Victor was completely off the track. There wasn't really anywhere for Victor to go. See, Victor's actually just let Blizzard back through and P6. But yeah, Blizzard kind of forced the issue there, and it did work out for him in the end. Victor had to turn into the corner at some point. He had to try and stay on the track, and Brandon Glover was probably the unison.
C3's around through turn 3. Suarez, Sean trying to go up the inside as well. Suarez had to take a board in action, went to the outside of the corner there. So Z3 is in. Lewis is into the pits as well.
I wonder if he picked up damage somewhere.
Yeah, I think he might have had contact with Ollie perhaps.
I'm not quite sure because Ollie was quite far down the field, so I'm not sure whether Lewis maybe Lewis made contact with C3, so maybe.
Has Lewis spun and the ghosting system failed and Ollie...
Spike's
round! Oh, that's a heavy hit!
That's a really heavy hit. I don't know if there was contact with someone, but he ran wide in that corner and he wasn't able to get back on the track before he hit the end of the wall by the marshal post.
And Lewis is out as well.
Lewis has retired from the session.
Lewis has retired from the session coming out of the pits, which is quite interesting, to be honest.
That promotes Graham into the points for the first time, and he's looking for a move on Maze for P9.
He is looking for a move. Maze trying to get the switchback, obviously, down the inside, but Graham ran the outside into 9th position. And Sean going side by side, trying to switch it back on Suarez. What a move by Sean. Can he get it off? Down the inside line through turn 15, now through turn 16. Suarez and Sean, they lean on each other. This has been a great battle between these two, and Sean pulls it off. Fantastic driving by the Brit on the Spaniard, and he's through, and Venom is on the back of Honey Badger for the lead.
Yeah. Honey Badger made a little mistake in the middle sector. Venom's all over the back of him. Honey Badger right to the wall on the inside, defending
He's going to get it.
Venom just goes to the outside. Oh my god, Honey Badger moves back across. Venom really late on the brakes. He locks up. He's going to miss the corner. Honey Badger nearly missed the corner himself as well. Venom has to let Honey Badger back through. Yeah, Vitmore through on Siege as well. Does Brandon Glover think about making a move? He's not close enough. Vitmore takes a really wide line through turn 4 to try and get the better exit so that he defends the line for the next corner. Vitmore holds it around the outside, so good stuff for Vitmore. Is back up into the
Sean! Sean's trying to go on the outside of Suarez through turn 3 as well. Impossible to try and pull off. He's on the inside line. He can't pull off the move though. Goodness me, it's all kicking off. The sprint race is coming alive.
Absolutely coming alive. There's so much action happening everywhere at this point. Siege trying to come back a bit, not close enough for that corner though. It's not really an overtaking spot. Blizzard just biding his time. As I say that, he tries to look around the outside of Brandon Glover for the double apex left-hander. It's not quite going to work for him. Does he look for the inside for the corner before the straight? He's going to wait for the DRS. Brandon Glover's compromised on the inside of the track, but Brandon Glover parks the bus. And Blizzard get the best exit. He's going to be close enough. Does Blizzard go for the move? Brandon Glover's moving to the left-hand side of the track. That's going to give Blizzard the inside for the next corner. Brandon moving back across. That's really late moving, but Brandon Glover's just ahead.
Oh, Blizzard down the inside.
Brandon Glover's going to have the inside for the next corner though, but Blizzard has more traction on the outside.
Got him.
Brilliant move. Oh my word, Brandon Glover well held, but brilliant move from Blizzard.
Yeah, Blizzard ran the outside. That is why he is the champion-elect, I think. We've got all sorts of racing going on and behind as well. Neon has suddenly landed himself into the points. Where's he getting from?
Maze has lost a number of positions. Graham's ended up in 8th. I'm not quite sure what's happened there, but yeah, he's lost a number of positions.
Neon's on the inside of Suarez. Oh, and he cuts the track completely.
Yeah, he had to do that to avoid Suarez turning in on him, really. Nino's almost back in the points at this point in the race as well.
This is unbelievable.
He's going to have a look down the straight on Neon. He backs out to go back into the slipstream, but he's in the slipstream with Suarez. Suarez doesn't defend the move. Graham's looking on his teammate further in front. They're going to go three wide into turn 1.
No, they're not.
Suarez too late on the brakes though. Suarez is going to be compromised on the exit of the corner. Does Neon go for a move around the outside of turn 4 into turn 5? Doesn't quite have the grip to do so. Graham wide in front, so that's going to put Suarez on the back of him. Suarez holds on to P9 for the time being. Brilliant battling though between all these guys.
Fantastic battling. Graham just running a little bit wide just in front as well. It's only lap 6 out of 11. Nino's down the inside on Neon. Very late down the brakes. Can he get the move done? He's on the inside line. Brilliant. I think Neon's just going to let him have that one. Nino's through and he's up to 10th.
Brilliant move from Nino. How he got that one stopped, I'll never know. I almost thought he was going to use Neon as a break there, but he managed to not make contact. And fair stuff. Oh my word, Suarez nearly ran straight into the back of Graham. That's going to let Nino through into P9 now. So Suarez is really late on the brakes. Just about gives him the space. Nino's on the curb on the outside.
Pretty wide.
Suarez holds on, and here comes Neon. He's going to get the pair of them.
Nino could thread this through the Isle of Eagle here as well. It's going to be 3 wide down in towards turn 13. Oh my god.
It's not quite going to work. They're still side by side. Suarez late on the brakes though. He's going to run wide.
Oh, very late.
He's in the grass. Here comes Neon. Where's Nino in all this? Nino had to back out. Here comes
Maze
Maze
on the
now
back.
as well. Oh, Nino makes a mistake.
Nino.
Look at Neon round the outside, but he's run too late on the brakes as well, and Suarez holds on tonight. And here
Nino's
comes Nino
on the
again.
inside.
Oh, and Neon makes a mistake, and Maze is back through to P11.
Oh, unfortunate for Neon, but I tell you what, I think Nino would have got the move done anyways. Siege is on the back of Vic Mill. God almighty, it's all kicking off. Siege down the inside of Vic Mill. Can he get the move done? Well, you can see he probably can, and he probably will. Siege is through and he's up into third, but now Vic Mill trying to cut to the inside. Blizzard is recovering very well into this race as well. Graham has gone down the inside of Sean. Gets the move done. The Frenchman on his teammate through, and he's up in towards P7 as well. We've got Nino on the back of Suarez, trying to go all the way around the outside of Suarez. It has been done before, and it could be done again. Nino trying to go around the outside of Welshman on the Spaniard. Down the inside line. Good respect between them. I think Nino might have just run out of room there, to be honest. Suarez always going to have the natural racing line. Nino maybe just a little bit too much, I think, from him. And Suarez up to 9th.
Suarez in 9th, Mace is back into the points in 10th. Graham, though, is having a brilliant race in this one. He's up to P7. Obviously, I don't think he's scored points so far this season, but he's having a brilliant race and he's outpacing his Campos teammate. So fair enough for Graham. Brilliant stuff. Vic Mill coming back at Siege again. It just doesn't end.
Here comes Blizzard as well. Blizzard's right on the back of this. He's down the inside of Siege.
Oh, he hits the back of Vic Mill. He's so late on the brakes. Siege back down the inside. But Blizzard's going to do it again. He did exactly what he did to Brandon Glover, but Siege is still there for the inside of the next corner. But Siege can't really battle that one.
Got him.
Blizzard up the inside. Brilliant move from Blizzard. He did exactly what he did to Brandon Glover on Siege.
Fastest lap all the way has gone to Venom so far, within the top 10. Suarez and Sean are having a good battle as well. They're still going at these two. Maze has dropped the position to Nino. There's all sorts of action going on. We're on to lap 8. Honey Badger leads. Venom second, Vic Mill third. And I mean, the top two are just dominating now out in front. But I'll tell you what, Suarez has just got the move done on Sean. Sean trying to repay the favour. Nino's coming back into play as well. Neon and Maze could be a 5-way fight for 8th here.
Yeah, meanwhile, Brandon Glover and Siege
Some
side by side. Brandon Glover actually ran off.
Siege
just hit the wall. Oh, such a shame for Siege. He did exactly what Steve Brixer did, but he was not lucky enough to keep it away from the wall. He just slammed head on into the wall. Oh,
Sean and Suarez again. Here comes Nino trying to spread the trying to thread the Isle Needle. Suarez down on the inside line. Sean on the inside line, and Nino's trying to go 3 wide. No way out of on turn 4. Oh, there's contact. Nino's around the outside of both of them. He can't do this, can he? He's just run off track. Not quite. Oh, there's a bit of contact. It's all getting a little bit too messy now. Oh my god.
He managed to pull the move off on Sean though. He gets into P8. He's on the back of Suarez. Good stuff from Nino, but my word, how that didn't come off worse than it did. I'm amazed that they managed to get through that one without completely colliding. Neon, meanwhile, down the inside of Maze and retakes 10th place.
Yeah, Maze just overdoing it slightly. Nino and Suarez are battling. Sean, oh my god, this is unbelievable. Oh, and there's more contact between Suarez and Nino. I think these guys are both in the same party. Sean is trying to get a switch back. Blizzard trying to get the move done on Vic Mill as well. He's came from an absolute mile back. Can the Trident driver get around the outside of the BWT Arden? This is in towards 10, 15 and 16. Nino's had a bit of contact. He dropped down through the field. Oh my god, and that's on Carnage.
Yeah,
Sean's caught up.
Moved over.
Sean's caught up with Conti as well. He's rejoined track in a very dangerous manner there.
That's a shame for Conti.
Gets a penalty.
That's a real shame for Conti. He deserved a lot more than that, unfortunately. That was Suarez. He was getting really aggressive with his defending. He tried to pull back in the situation with Neon and just moved the crossover on Nino, and that's how Suarez and Nino ended up getting taken out. So that's where that unfolded. But Mace ended up in 7th in that. Graham's ended up 6th in all of that. He's 6th and running around on his own.
Just seen Blizzard as well pass Vic Mill for 3rd position. Very important for the championship. Blizzard now ahead of Vic Mill out on track. Whether these guys have penalties remains to be seen. Neon is going to sail past. Is Nino as well. They're going to be 3 wide down towards turn 2. Nino cuts the track slightly. May's actually having good luck this time. I hope it'll continue up. Neon's around the outside line. May's on the inside line trying to go for the move, and he has done. Maze is through and he's up into thingy, but now Neon is trying to get the move done through turn 4. Very close, but Maze just about holds on to the position. Neon and Nino.
Sean is still going at it. For the last points position, they're still going at it. And here comes Z3 now.
Oh, it's contact between Neon and Nino. Neon, just like he might have shut the door. Nino might have went a little bit too late on the brakes. I'm not sure. I caught on board with that quite late. Suarez, Sean has now dropped down to P12. It looks like he's got end plate damage, if I'm not mistaken. He's got right side end plate damage.
So has Suarez as well from that contact on the previous lap.
Vic Mills on the back of Blizzard as well. He's not giving up without a fight, Mr. Consistent. On lap 9 out of 11. We're about to go on to lap 10. I'll tell you what, it's been fantastic racing out on track. Honey Badger leads, Venom second. These two have dominated things out in front. It's all fallen apart really in behind. Blizzard third, Vic Mill fourth. Brandon Glover yet again within the top 5.
Again, yeah, I think he's cursed to that 5th place though, is Brandon Glover. Every time he seems to race in a sprint race, he ends up in 5th. But fair enough from me. He's keeping up well with Vitmil and Blizzard, but at the moment he's just running out of grip on his rear tyres. He's not quite able to keep the same pace. So if Vitmil and Blizzard keep battling, he might be able to come back at them. But at this point, I think the top 5 look dead set. Well, top 6 actually look dead set in their positions, but it's all to play for the lower points.
Neon right on the back of Maze, coming out the final corner through turn 18. Penultimate lap of the race, of the sprint race. Sean is into the pits. Luckily, he's going to repair front wing damage, I think. Neon, in the meantime, is trying to go around the outside of Maze. And I think it's going to be job done for Neon. The Irishman is through. So Neon through and he's up into 7th position. I think he's Irish, I'm pretty sure. Unless I said he was Welsh earlier on.
I honestly can't keep up. I feel like we've said that they're every single one of the UK nationalities at once. So we'll find out at some point. But yeah, fair enough for Neon up to P7. It's a good recovery after obviously not finishing well in the feature race. Good recovery up to P7, but I think he probably had the pace for more in this one. He just got caught in that crazy battle.
Crazy battle indeed, oh my god. Honestly, at least we've taken a bit more of a sedate look now towards the final 2 laps of the race. Honey Badger leading, Venom second, Blizzard in third, Vic Mill in fourth, Brandon in fifth. Graham has literally not made any contact throughout the race, and he's doing a fantastic job to be in 6th position. I never thought he'd be there, but all the battling around him, all the luck that has happened around him, he's now seen himself in 6th, and probably quite easy as well in that position. Nino, in the meantime, on the back of Maze, guys nearly trying to put an epileptic fit into somebody there. Nino on the outside of Maze. Oh, he's got way too deep here, shooting the Welshman. He's got left side end plate damage. He should not be fighting for position if he's got end plate damage, but Maze holds on to position for 8th.
Yeah, fair enough for Maze. Nino was just a little bit too late in the race. He wasn't going to get that one stopped. The one thing for Gray, and the one thing he did that no one behind him could do, was once he made the move stick, he was able to defend the place down the next straight. He made the move stick and kept it solid, and then kept the place. He wasn't under pressure from anyone behind after he made the pass, so that's how he's been able to gap everyone behind. Fair enough for Graham. What a great way to score your first points.
Yeah, Nino right on the back of Maze as well. Here we go. It's like round 10 between these two, I think, out on track. Nino and Maze. Welshman around the outside on the Brit. Can he get the move done? Prima against Dams. I think he let them have that one, to be honest. Nino's through, and he's up into 8th position. Maze slightly blocked coming out of the corner. He's trying to go around the outside, but always going to have the traction down the inside. But with the front wing damage, it's going to pulls Maze to the inside line. Now down the inside of turn 4. Nearly loses it and corrects his steering halfway through the corner. And Maze, Nino runs wide. Yeah, Maze picks up the position. He read that one perfectly, and Maze up to 8th.
Yeah, fair enough for Maze. Good defending. That's exactly what has been happening pretty much all race. As soon as someone makes the move, they're then not able to defend it, and they're re-overtaking again. But this has allowed Neon to get away in P7 now.
In the meantime, Honey Badger is coming around turn 13 and 14 for the final time tonight in Russia. And it's been a quite dominant performance from Honey Badger out on track. The Dutchman is going to claim another victory here within the sprint race. In the meantime, I'm just going to go back to Nino and Maze. I don't want to miss Honey Badger coming across the line. I think Nino is going to get this move done around the outside. Keep an eye on that one. Honey Badger around the final corner in the meantime is going to come across the line to win, and he nearly spins it coming across the line, and in fact he has spun it. Venom in second, he does the same. Blizzard picks up fastest lap of the race, as you would expect. Vic Mill in fourth, Brandon Glover in fifth. Good result from him. Nino got the move done on Maze, so it was a good move there from Nino on the back of Maze. Graham, first points 8 points picking up as well for Graham. Fantastic result for the Frenchman. He's across the line in 6th. Nino has picked up a 3-second time penalty. Neon across the line in 7th. Nino in 8th, but Mays jumps them because he didn't have any penalties, I don't think. Z3 across the line in 10th. Speedy Suarez will be coming across the line in 11th with some questionable defending. And Sean will be coming across the line in 12th position as well.
Yeah, he will. I think Sean's trying to steal the fastest lap, but at this point as well, Blizz is going to get it anyway because Sean's currently not in the top 10. But yeah, what a crazy race that one was.
Sprint race never fails to disappoint, I think we can say now.
Not. Yeah, it never fails, does it? Whether it's chaos or whether it's great racing, I think that one was a mix of both. But yeah, it never fails us.
It was definitely a mix of both, and I apologise that I haven't seen any of your comments, by the way, tonight. I haven't done this, I've done this pretty much on purpose so I can try and maintain my connection. But, Sean across the line in 12th position, it is, of course, Honey Badger who takes the win within the sprint race, and overall it was quite dominant from him.
Yeah, and in the end it was pretty dominant. He had a little blip about lap 2 where he made a little mistake and Venom tried to repass him, but from that point onwards, Honey Badger looked untouchable.
Honey Badger actually saying it's like driving with a bunch of 4-year-olds.
Ooh.
That was aimed at the feature race.
Okay.
Note to self, do need to do a couple of laps of practice before the race, says Spike. As well.
Yeah, Spike's saying that he got a tank stepper on the exit curb and slid into the wall, just not enough room. That's why that's why he retired in the feature race, and I think that's probably why he retired in the sprint race as well.
Well, Honey Badger has shown his mature self this time, apart from in the comment section, of course. Honey Badger shows his mature self. Tom, of course, our behind-the-scenes graphics man. No graphics here tonight, but he takes the win out on track from Venom in 2nd. Blizzard, fastest lap of the race, and I think he's wrapped up the championship, if I'm not mistaken. We've got one more round to go. Blizzard has had to have wrapped up the championship now because he's outscored Vic Mill in both races. So I think we can say congratulations to Blizzard on winning the championship.
I think we can safely say that at this point, yeah. I think that Vic Mill, there's not enough points left in the last 2 rounds for Vic Mill to close the gap back to Blizzard. Fair enough from Vic Mill. Vic Mill from last season has had such an up in pace from last season to this season, but Blizzard coming into the championship has thwarted his chances, but fair enough for Blizzard. What a brilliant season he's had.
Been a fantastic season, of course. I think he deserves it. He's shown consistency in every single race and every single round that we've been to here in TTL F2. And of course, it is fantastic, I think, going forward that we've seen I think we've seen a majority of clean racing, I think, out on track. But obviously there were moments out on track, which it comes to expect in TTL F2. As we move forward, though, with TT Masters League, with our new merger, of course, between TTL and TMC. If you don't know who TMC are, go and have a look on YouTube. The Masters Championship, as they are currently known as. Hopefully it's going to be some fantastic action out on track for TMC. But honestly, the racing that we've seen there, with the addition of more drivers to come next season, we could be talking about 2 tiers of racing within TTML F2 next season. Which would be fantastic.
Yeah, 2 divisions for TTML F2 would be a brilliant feat, and it would make even the racing even that much closer, wouldn't it? It would make people even more eligible for race victories and podiums, and it will make the racing even closer if it isn't close enough already. So, yeah, it would be brilliant if that happens.
I think we've got something like 16 sign-ups so far, or 17 sign-ups, something like that. We've got for TTML so far, and I mean the majority of the drivers actually here. There's a few from TMC, but Honey Badger, Conti, Siege have all signed up. Maze has signed up as well, as has Vic Mill, as has Blizzard. I can confirm he signed up for next season as well. Just looking through the sign-ups form, it should be quite an interesting season just off their names alone. And then we've got the guys coming in from TMC. It could be quite interesting. And Graham, by the way, is Irish and not French. I've been reliably informed. I've just seen the nationality for him. So he's Irish and not French. It's Graham Chappell, of course, the TMC commentator.
There we go. I think we might have to take a quiz before the next week of everyone's nationalities and try to remember it. We'll quiz each other next week.
well, we'll have to do that. We might have to get Trivial Pursuit out, to be honest, I think, after that one as well. But honestly, thank you so much for tuning in to TTL F2. It's been a fantastic night of action. Join us again next week, because we are going to... Where are we going? Abu Dhabi?
Abu Dhabi. Yeah, Abu Dhabi for the final round of the championship.
Abu Dhabi for the final 2 races of the championship. Then we've got the Challenge Cup event as well to come. So we've still got essentially 2 more races left. 1 more race of the full season, and then another race after that. And if I'm... I mean, I can run through the calendar now. Am I allowed to run through the calendar now for TTML next season?
It's risky.
It's risky. Basically, there's quite a few of the same tracks on from this year, and there's 1 new track. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
That's all I'm saying. I don't want to spoil the surprise. You can have a look at it in Discord, on the TTG Esports Discord.
I probably have a good guess of what that track will be, so I'll keep
what
that
is
one,
that educated
in
guess?
my head. I'd say Educated Guess is one of the new tracks that's coming to the calendar next season. Yeah.
You're right in that.
I imagine. Yeah.
Are you going to say which one it is?
I'd probably say it's probably going to be Zandvoort, I imagine.
It is.
Yeah, there we go. Can't wait to drive around Zandvoort. That's such a brilliant track. Can't wait for that to be added to the game next year. So that would be brilliant for racing.
It would be fantastic for racing. And honestly, of course, as we approach the end of the game cycle, we just want to thank everyone, I think, in TTL for all of the work that they've put in, and I'm sure the other commentators as well, Aidan, yourself, Kieran, Andy as well, in the last few seasons of TTL F1. There's been so many as well, Suarez, Malc, don't forget about Malc as well. Everyone behind the scenes, I think, has done a fantastic job in organising this, and I think with our added impetus going forward for for TTML, it's going to be quite something to behold. And can I say it quietly, that we could become one of the forces of F1 2020?
It really could. There's such a bright future for TTML. It could be it's going to be brilliant for the new game cycle. Such a just a brilliant update for us. So can't wait for that. Can't wait to see what the new era brings.
Well, the old era will go into Abu Dhabi next week for the season finale. I hope you can join us then. In the meantime, Mini League 1 and 2 will be live. I think I'm doing my 3rd week in a row, if I'm not mistaken. Unless we come to some sort of arrangement about Aidan commentating for Mini League 2, then you'll be seeing me, of course, for Mini League 2 commentary from 7 and 7:45 for rounds 3 and 4 of the championship. If I'm not mistaken, it is Japan and Germany, the 2 tracks that we are going to for Mini League 2. And then Mini League 1, Kieran McGinley and Z Thrixer, who you saw racing here tonight, are going to be commentating you through TTL F1? TT Mini League 1. Goodness me. Esports Mini League 1. Oh, I'm getting it all wrong tonight. I think we should end the stream before I dig my hole even further. But thank you so much for tuning in, of course. Please stay at home, protect the NHS, stay alert, control the virus as well, and do save lives, of course. That's the more important thing. And I think going forward, we're all, obviously, with the lockdown pretty much being lifted, everyone has got to look out for each other, and I think hopefully we are going to have your back company just in case we go into a second lockdown. It would be fantastic. Knowing what Dominic Cummings has been doing the last couple of days, we probably will.
That's probably the advice. Don't do a Dominic Cummings.
Don't do a Dominic Cummings. I'm going to do a Dominic Cummings and escape from this. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, until Mini League tomorrow, we will see you next time. From myself, James Head, and from Aidan Carter, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.